Hello friends, today is a special video for me because I've been wanting to do this video for quite some time now, but let's say the major difficulty for getting it done was to get these two guys into the same room. Well, today is the day, and then why I'm making the video is because I've been asked quite a few times now, and then I've seen this question being asked a lot also in photography groups and forums on the internet. And then is the question or the affirmation is people saying I want to get an 85mm for doing portraits, but I don't know to choose which lens to choose between an 85mm 1.8 or 1.4. So what's the difference? People say when I take a look at the bokeh, they both look the same. So what's actually the deal? Okay, and then well, I think the principal reason people are asking this question is because if I take these two lenses that I'm going to use for the example, which is a Nikkor 85mm 1.8D and 1.4D, is that the 1.4 cost is twice as much as the 1.8D. I guess if the price was the same between the two lenses, people will go directly for the 1.4. And so, but then what's the actual deal? So so let me remove these covers and then I will remove the shades as well. Oh shit, I tied it too much. Okay, let me remove it. I like these old lenses because they are all metal. These hoods are going to last forever. Okay, so you get the two lenses, and the 1.4 is obviously bigger, and then this has an influence on the price because the optical glass is made and paid by the kilo and is not cheap. And then also the working, the grinding, the polishing of the glass is the bigger the glass is more difficult to get nice results. So to reach the same specification between this glass and this glass, this one requires quite some additional work. So this is part of it, but well, at the end of the day, I think people who is into photography, they don't care much about these details. They want to get a nice picture. I think this is what we all want. A nice portrait of a beautiful lady or kids, whatever. Okay. So, and then so there's these details. There's one detail I can talk to you about right now, and that's the low light performance. And then if I take both lenses, you see that obviously the 1.4 is bigger. And then if you take the equivalent aperture between these two lenses, the 1.4 is the area of the equivalent aperture is about 60% larger than the 1.8D. So this is obviously an advantage in low light, because this means 60% more light is passing through this lens. And so if we imagine a photography situation in which we are handheld, and then with the 1.8 the camera is calculating a shutter speed of 30, with the 1.4 we get 60% more. 60% of 30 is 20, so we'll get shutter speed of 50. So at the end we have the photo is going to be less fuzzy with the 1.4. obviously, well, the depth of field is going to be affected, but this is something else. So this is pretty much it about the technical details. Then what I'm going to do now is to take some pictures just for you to see the difference between the two lenses, because at the end of the day this is a thing more of perception, the color rendition, the bokeh. This is more for the people to decide what they like. And then I'm not planning to tell you 1.4 or 1.8 is better. No, this is not my goal. This video is not about me. This video is just about the lenses and you, people who are watching the video, just to know and to get an idea about which lens fits better your needs. So let's go for the comparisons.
So hello everyone, we start this comparison with this excellent model that my daughter borrowed to me, and then here on the left we have the Nikkor 1.8D. On the right we have the 1.4D. So I will try to be quick because I have many pictures to show it to you. So you have both images, both look really nice. So let's just take a closer look at the images with both lenses. And then here as you can probably see here, there is my feeling the 1.4D has a bit more contrast and sharpness. We can see it here in around the eye here. It's a bit softer here with the 1.8D. Same thing with the hair of the doll. Otherwise, both images look rather nice. Bokeh, well, bokeh is always very difficult to compare. But you must see, but images look really nice. So we can take probably also a look here, some more details. Okay, so here we can get better idea on the sharpness. So we see this color here is a bit more detail on the 1.4 than on the 1.8. And then it is rather impressive for the 1.4 to be this sharp, wide open. So now if we take the 1.4 and put it to 1.8, obviously it gets a bit sharper, which is nice. So I think in terms of first comparison, the 1.4 is sharper. Color rendition looks quite similar to me. We'll check after with the other comparisons. Otherwise, but images look really nice to me. Here we can see here I can get a better idea on the sharpness of the 1.4. So I think regarding at least sharpness, the fact that the 1.4 is double the price of the 1.8 is totally justified, as you can see in a very quick comparison about sharpness. So But then one big question to me is, do I want my lens to be super sharp if I want to do portraits? Because this means that probably in post-processing I will have to do some work in softening the skin, whereas with the 1.8 I will get that effect pretty much for free. So this is one image, so let me go up in the aperture, so I go to 2.8 just to show you, but then in all cases the 1.4 seems to have an edge on sharpness and contrast, but just look from a distance, I would say both images look pretty much the same and they both look nice. So just for the sake of the comparison, I will go to a very typical aperture, which is 5.6, and then here I would say it's rather difficult to see the differences in both images, just like that. If we take a look probably at the hair, yeah, we can see that maybe, but just maybe, the 1.4 is slightly sharper at this aperture, but it is rather affordable. So this is for my first subject. Then I have a second one, which I'm going to look for it now. Again, it is a courtesy of my daughter. It is this Winnie the Pooh doll. As before, we have the 1.8 here, the 1.4 here. I will be pretty much repeating myself, but the 1.4 has, in my opinion, better color rendition. You can see more details here on the shirt. We can even zoom and we can see that details are slightly sharper here. Also around the mouth here you can see far more detail here than with the 1.8. And then if I go up in the aperture, so just for the 1.8, for the 1.4 I will go to 1.8. So both images look again the same, but the 1.4 being sharper. So okay, I'm not going to repeat myself because portrait wise we have seen pretty much everything what is to see. Conclusion is obviously 1.4 is sharper. I'd say color rendition, well, in reality it looks pretty much the same. And then, but then these are things that you can easily tweak on post-processing to get the contrast or the saturation of the colors. So this is not a big deal. On the other hand, yes, the 1.4 is obviously sharper, but then, as I said before, is this desirable, especially for portraits? I don't know. So now we move to different scene, and then this is some images I took outside the house, this is a bench. We go out when the day is nice to take some sun and discuss with my wife. And then the focusing was done around this region. So both images look again quite similar. From distance you cannot make, probably here you can see that there is a bit more detail on the 1.8. On the 1.4 I took this image especially because there is a lot of detail here, and then you can get some bokeh behind. So bokeh wise I think both images look similar. Color wise I cannot tell honestly, and then sharpness wise the 1.4 is winning here, but that is not a surprise because we already saw it before. Okay, so I don't know what else I can show to you because I don't want to become boring just showing the same picture over and over. So let me go up and show this picture at 5.6. Both cases look really nice. Bokeh is similar, colors are similar, and then even if they're slightly different, this can be corrected on Photoshop or whatever software you use for edition. And then just for finishing, I like to show you a picture done at f16. Just to get the best well, in terms of list of sharpness of both lenses. And then if we make a comparison here, we can see that both lenses are really nice. I'm even tempted to say that the 1.8 look a bit better, but honestly no, I don't know, it's almost impossible to say. Okay, so this is the comparison. I try to be rather quick for you show you just the facts. So obviously what we saw is that the 1.4 is obviously sharper. Color rendition I would say is almost equivalent, with 1.4 having a small edge over the 1.8, but then at the end of the day both lenses are really good, and then both make good pictures. Big open question which remains to me in terms of portraits is, okay, the 1.4 is sharper, but this is something I really want for a portrait, or I can live with the 1.8. Then I can just correct a few things in post-processing, but then since it is a bit softer, especially regarding skin, let me go before to the example of the doll. I think it's going to save me some time in my workflow, since I don't have to do much corrections on the skin. So as we can see here, the skin it's plastic on this doll, but it's already softened here. So this is it. This is all what I wanted to show you. At the end of the day, decision is yours. but bad lenses are okay. I like them bad. And then I hope you just enjoyed my video, and then see you next time.